Hey, hey, hey. Happy Wednesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you, amazingly enough, by the GamingGang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. So here we go, take two. Yes, for some strange reason, it looks like the stream is being Comcasted again. So, yeah, we are dropping it's all kind of over the place. So, I don't know. I'm taking a peek here. All right, I'm gonna do a few minutes of the stream here, and we will see what is going on. See how badly this is going on, and then I will take if it's still breaking up and it's all choppy and everything else, I will go reset the router and everything and see if we can possibly get things running that way. It is usually not the case, though. It is usually an ISP thing. So it is dropped packets is what the problem is. Anyway, I just don't know. I don't know what to tell you. So, do want to point out that if you like this video, if this video actually ends up, not get deleted, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already, and if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when the Gaming Gang Dispatch streams live Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings normally at 7 p.m. Central, right here on YouTube. Also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming first look at Pathfinder Goblin Fireworks Fight from Paizo Inc. Yes, this is a new party game from Paizo. So it's a card game. I think each of the players is taking on the role of a goblin, trying to score themselves some fireworks for some big celebration. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you will not find here on the YouTube channel. That's right. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Also, of course, this is a live stream. Hopefully, depending on how bad this connection is right now. So that means there is chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But I also do my best to pay attention to chat. So if you want to say howdy, maybe get a question, a comment, by all means, chime in. I'll do my best to respond. So once again, we are taking two. Try this again. Tessie Trekkies with us, Viper Dave, James Eck, Flaming Heron, and the Madman, both who happen to be our chat moderators. 245 Trioxin is with us, and so is Doug Roberts. So chat is off and running. Okay, let's take a look here. So it is still showing about 20% dropped frames. And what it's doing, just taking a peek here, is that it'll be fine, and then all of a sudden it just drops. And then it's fine, and then it drops. So I don't know. I don't know how well, because from time to time during the live stream, because here we go, it's doing it again. Um, from time to time doing a live stream, it's difficult for you to get just that perfect connection where it's all, it never drops anything. That doesn't happen. So we do sometimes have a little bit of chop, but it looks like it is all over the place tonight. So, going to take one more shot here. I'm going to go up. I'm going to reboot the router and take it from there. See what we can do. So the ManMed says they're not seeing anything on their end as far as frames dropping. It's not choppy. Let me know in chat, gang. Tell me what's cooking here in chat. So if you're getting a bunch of chop, if you're getting a lot of herky-jerkiness. Splinterverse is with us as well. I've got a Splinterverse news piece. Yes, from Splinterverse Media. Says, nothing's dropped, not choppy. Okay, so maybe these are late packets, possibly. Okay. 245 Triaxon says, looks completely normal. Well, that I never look like completely normal, but still. Anyway, tonight is Wednesday, May 18th. This is live stream 788. So, of course, this is your first time hanging out. Let me point out, super casual around here, as you can tell already. So, we don't take things too seriously at all. So we talk about the tabletop gaming news of the day and then take a look at a game. So tonight, I'm going to unbox and take a first look at Zapotec from Board and Dice. This looks like this is a kind of a medium weight Eurogame. It is another Mesoamerican themed game from Board and Dice. That is like their favorite theme. And we are going to dive on in and take a peek at this in just a little bit. So if you're not familiar with how the show works, I tackle the tabletop gaming news first, and then we jump on into a first look. Every once in a while, we do a review of a game. So if you are tuning in to check out Zapotec, keep in mind it'll be about 30 minutes before we jump on into it. So just kick back, put your feet up, relax, enjoy the latest in tabletop gaming news. And if you are watching this stream 30 minutes or more after it ends, hopefully it's not going to end prematurely. Anyway, you can find timestamps in the show notes, or depending on the device that you're using to watch this, you might actually have those timestamps right there in the timeline of the video. So that is a possibility as well. All right, let's jump on into the news. But first, got to say hello to Sarah D and Eddie T, Mr. Eddie T. Ooh, I forgot the Mr. part. Oops. All right, Wizards of the Coast has revealed a new Magic the Gathering 2022 starter kit, and it's slated for release next month, less than a month away. Here's the skinny on the set. Everything two people need to start playing Magic the Gathering. In the Magic the Gathering card game, you take on the role of a powerful mage, casting spells in epic battles with your friends. As if anyone watching this stream did not know what Magic the Gathering is. Learn how to play in person and online with 2 ready-to-play decks, each with 5 rare cards. Hopefully they're not the same rare cards. And codes to play with a friend online in Magic the Gathering Arena. The interactive online tutorial and included play guide booklet will teach you the basics before you immerse yourself in a thrilling strategic game that's never the same twice. Choose your deck. Each color or color combination in Magic reflects a certain style of play, each with its own personality, goals, and strategies. Choose the red-green deck to do massive damage with buffed-up creatures, trampling through your opponent's defenses. Choose the white-blue deck to take control of the game, casting spells to stall your opponent while you fill the skies with a deadly swarm of creatures. You can also tour the Magic multiverse. Get a taste of Magic's rich and varied multiverses, from a 1920s inspired world run by powerful crime families to a neon lit cyberpunk future and a gothic horror plane full of vampires and werewolves. Both decks contain cards from multiple Magic sets, including Streets of New Capenna, Kamogawa, Neon Dynasty, Innistrad, Crimson Vow, and Innistrad Midnight Hunt. This kit's going to be available on June 3rd. It is going to be available for $10.68 through Amazon. Of course, keeping in mind, Magic the Gathering doesn't have MSRPs anymore. So I'm going to take a guess that retailers will probably be charging $11.99 or $12.99 for this starter kit. So, kind of cool. I mean, if you ever wanted to learn how to play Magic and you don't want to jump in and be sitting there with all the online folks who tend to sit there and be like, yep, we're leaving. It's like, oh, you're beating me. I'm out. I'm just dumping out. Not a bad idea. Should be pretty cool. Pretty inexpensive. So 245 Trioxin says the first taste is cheap. Yeah, it's like, like a drug dealer. Oh, yeah, hey, first one's on me. Yes, I like Magic the Gathering. I don't necessarily like everything that they've done with it, but I still think the game holds up really well. It's still actually a really good game. Maybe it's not necessarily the sort of business plan I would have utilized for Magic over the past few years, but still, it's a good game. All right, on to the next news story, because there's a new wargame system. It's up on the GMT Games P500 pre-order listing. I've got the skinny on Battle Command Volume 1. Building on the innovative gameplay of his Fast Action Battle series, designer Rick Young has reimagined the best parts of Fab. Absolutely fabulous! No, Fast Action Battles. To introduce a new game system, Battle Command. The goal of the Battle Command system is to provide a fresh and engaging way for various conflicts across different eras to be fought with minimal time wasted on setup and complex rules, making this both a great introductory system for new and veteran players alike. Each Battle Command volume includes 2 different games in one box. Volume 1 brings players to the forest of the Battle of the Bulge. Oh God, another Battle of the Bulge game. And the sun, heat, and sand of North Africa during Operation Crusader. The design emphasis has been placed on making the game very player-friendly and manageable in its level of scope, difficulty, and time of play. With a low total counter count and density, these quick-playing, though still realistic, simulations present players with deep strategy, meriting contemplation. A system of map areas have been adopted and movement has been streamlined. Battle Command Volume 1, The Battle of the Bulge, and Operation Crusader will offer 2 full games. The included mounted map features the Battle of the Bulge on one side and Operation Crusader on the other. Each game also features a 110 card deck, a counter sheet, and its own player aids. The Battle of the Bulge will pit the Allies dug in deep on the Ardennes line against a German force late in 1944. Opening with a German sneak attack, players will contend with the harsh elements and supply issues while fighting it out deep in the snow-covered woods as artillery rains down and bullets fly. Players familiar with Fab Bulge will find some similarities with that game, but with new strategies and mechanisms to master. Operation Crusader will transport players to the arid desert of North Africa, where the British Eighth Army faces a combined force of Germans and Italians under the command of Erwin Rommel. Yes, the Desert Fox. As the British attempt to circumnavigate the Axis defenses between Egypt and Libya and relieve the siege of Tobruk in the heat of the North African campaign in late 1941. Air power, armored units, and precious supplies will determine the winner as two great forces meet on the sand. Battle Command Volume 1 is for 2 players ages 14 and up and can be pre-ordered right now at the P500 price of $49. It's going to have an eventual MSRP of $70. So that is one of the newest games on GMT's P500 listing. I have to point out, I reviewed Fast Action Battles, I want to say it was Sicily. And I thought the system was, I thought it was decent. I didn't think it was great. I thought it was decent. And gosh, if I remember correctly, it was kind of a fog of war game that used blocks. Then again, I could be misremembering it. But yeah, not a bad system, especially if you didn't want to get, deep into the woods, so to speak, as far as modeling every possible unit and piece of equipment and things like that. So that is out on GMT Games. And Omanal points out, hey, that's $49. That's pretty cheap. On to some role-playing game news. There is a new slipcase set, which is arriving for the 5th edition of Chivalry and Sorcery from Brittannia Game Designs. Here's what I know. Included in the slipcase set are the Chivalry and Sorcery 5th edition core book, as well as the European Folklore Bestiary. With all the medieval flavor that was loved of earlier editions now back, this truly is the definitive edition of Chivalry and Sorcery. Players can create well-rounded characters who really feel like they belong to their world. Knights wield secular power and command the battlefield, while other warriors strive to win their spurs in combat and rise to join their ranks. Magic is deep and mysterious, drawing on real-world historical detail, while priests utter prayers and call upon the very miracles of their gods. You decide the level of magic and fantasy for your game. Run a medieval high fantasy game filled with magic, miracles, and myth, or one of gritty low fantasy or even pure historical simulation. The choice is yours. From fairy tale romance to courtly love, from religious intrigue to brutal, bloody battle, Chivalry and Sorcery lets you play in just the Middle Ages you want. The Folklore Bestiary continues the mission of Chivalry and Sorcery to provide a fantasy role-playing experience with an authentic medieval flavor. Drawn from legends and lore across Western Europe, this book presents more than 60 magical and monstrous creatures that fit perfectly in a medieval fantasy setting, because the people of the Middle Ages believed that they existed. Some are harmless, beyond a few pranks, and some are terrifying beasts that can threaten whole cities. Some will be familiar, but many are presented for fantasy gamers for the first time ever. A bibliography featuring online resources as well as books allows you to peruse the tales behind these monsters, finding inspiration for encounters or even for full adventures. The Folklore Bestiary supplements the Chivalry and Sorcery 5th edition core rulebook, and it gives you endless potential for adventure. There are more than 60 monsters from across the world as medieval Europeans knew it, with multiple variants for many creatures, and these are drawn from authentic classical, medieval, and folklore sources. This set contains the 600-page Chivalry and Sorcery core rulebook and the 153-page bestiary in a faux leather slipcase, and it carries an MSRP of approximately $99.99. $9. And what am I, crazy? damn cold. I'm telling you, you can probably tell on my voice. Very nasally right now. So, I know very little about chivalry and sorcery. I know it's been around for quite a long time. And if I remember correctly, I have always heard that it is a pretty crunchy system, crunchier than D&D. And when I say crunchier than D&D, I'm not talking 5th edition D&D. I'm talking about like AD&D. So, well, so I thought I'd share that. I actually have reached out to the fine folks over at Brittannia Game Designs to see maybe checking this out during next month's fantasy role playing extravaganza that's going to be taking place here on the Dispatch. Flaming Heron says, I assume this is an upcoming piece of news, but how did I not know that Winds of Magic was coming for Whiffrip? Well, I'll tell you what. There is a new magical supplement that has arrived in PDF for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. Here's what I know about Winds of Magic. Nice segue from Flaming Heron. From the shattered warp gates at the poles of the world, raw energies of chaos flow into the world, powering works of sorcery and sustaining demonic entities. This is magic in a pure but unstable form. Thanks to the wise counsel of Teclis, greatest of the high elf mages, human wizards have learned to draw upon a single facet to work with a form of sorcery which is relatively safe, but still capable of feats of vast power. These isolated strands of raw magical energy are known as the Winds of Magic. Winds of Magic is a comprehensive guide to the practices and traditions taught by the 8 colleges of magic, as well as providing background to the development of magic in the Empire. It includes details of a multitude of magic practices, creatures, and places. Each of the 8 lores of magic taught by the colleges is provided with a revised and expanded roster of spells and a separate career for each sort of wizard. Rules are provided for rituals, complicated spells that can be used to empower magical sites, create magical creatures, or summon powerful but wild entities. There's details on the summoning of incarnate elementals, the creation of magical constructs, and how to develop a familiar as either an NPC or a player character. Details on the properties of magical sites, such as the lines of waystones that drain magic toward the Great Vortex in Olthian, and several sites associated with a particular wind. Characters can tell the future, read the past, or brew magical potions thanks to rules for the practices of augury, psychometry. English, Jeff. Use those words. And alchemy, both magical and mundane. There's a set of new careers allowing characters to specialize as scryers, mundane alchemists, beetle, or magister vigilant. 8 of the Empire's preeminent wizards from Balthazar Gilt to Espeth von Draken are detailed as potential patrons for characters. Several nemeses are described, such as the Blue Scribes, who seek catalog every spell in existence for the glory of Zinich. Igrim van Horstman, the greatest chaos sorcerer alive, and Monamim, who wishes to turn all the old world into a vast fenland. The 220-page hardcover of Winds of Magic can be pre-ordered from Cubicle 7 Entertainment for $49.99, which does include the PDF. And it's got an expected delivery of, unfortunately, the first quarter of next year. Boo. But you can grab the PDF right now over at Drive-Thru RPG for $29.99. $0.99. So there you go. Now you know about Winds of Magic. And it just hit in PDF today, as far as I understand. I think it is already the #1 seller currently. It's the most popular item on Drive-Thru RPG at this point. Omenal points out, wow, this makes Mongoose look cheap. No, actually, Mongoose would be right about the same price, if not more, for a 202-page or 220-page PDF. But yeah, I agree. It's pricier. It's pricier than I like to see it. But on the other hand, Cubicle 7 does release a lot of shorter PDFs that, the price is usually right. So a lot of their adventures that they'll release in PDF, they're usually like $4. So nothing too crazy there. Anyway, so some discussion about chivalry and sorcery. Omenel says the elves disappointed them. They gave back the original kid. Yes, because we've got changelings almost every day. I'm sure there's changelings in chivalry and sorcery, especially since the bestiary is kind of based on folklore, right? Flaming Heron says they never played CNS, so they can only say it reads as being very crunchy. Yes. All right, my final news piece, now available in print and PDF from Splinterverse Media, is Swarms of the Multiverse for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. See, I can say that. They can't. Here's the scoop. From the team that brought you the platinum best-selling Feywild Companion comes the next evolution in Swarms. This one-of-a-kind bestiary brings you never-before-seen creatures as well as their swarm equivalents. But these aren't just run-of-the-mill swarms. Each creature has been given a minimum of 2 pages to help you understand their lore, their habits, their tactics, and why they swarm. Many of the swarms feature differences from their base creatures to keep your party guessing. Plus, we've got tons of bonus material and instructions on how to make swarms that are balanced for 5th edition. This book includes over 70 brand new creatures and their associated swarms. All the creatures swarm have swarm-like abilities or summon and command swarms. Creatures and swarms of all sizes, including gargantuan. Gargantuan swarms. I was going to say, what is that? Challenge rating 30. Creatures and swarms for all environments. There are over 140 stat blocks ranging from challenge rating 0. I laugh at you, ha! To 30. Run, flee, run away. Including new mechanics, traits, and actions. Over 150 adventure hooks are included to help you integrate the creatures into your campaign. There are 4 new demi-planes to explore, including a demi-plane made from books. There's also bonus material, including magic items, layers, variants, templates, diseases, factions, and more. And of course, there are instructions on how to create swarms that are balanced for 5th edition. There's tips and tools to enhance the swarms you create, including making symbiotic swarm hosts. There are 50 wild effects, 80 virtual tabletop tokens. There is a printer-friendly version as well. And of course, the digital version is fully hyperlinked, bookmarked, and indexed. Should point out, I believe Splinterverse Media is still hanging out in chat, even after all the hiccups that we had to this point. And I see we still have hiccups going on. Damn you, Comcast! But if you have any questions about this new release, feel free. Ask in chat. You will get your answers provided there. Should point out this 187-page tome is available from Drive-Thru RPG in hardcover, including the PDF, for $39.99. Softcover with PDF for $34.99. So obviously, I'd assume you'd want to go hardcover for $5. Or you can grab just the PDF alone for $19.99. I believe it's possible we might get a chance to see this book. A little birdie from Splinterverse whispered in my ear and said, hey, we're going to send you Swarms of the Multiverse. And I believe there's also a potions book that will be, because of course it's print on demand. These are coming from Drive-Thru RPG, so it'll be a while. But I do believe they are heading my way. Splinterverse says, love the Gaming Gang show. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And the Madman points out they definitely dig this artwork as well. Very cool. Very cool. Yep, there you go. Splinterverse points out, yep, both are on their way. All right, so that was it for tonight's news. Of course, I was just talking about Drive-Thru RPG with the last couple of news pieces. Don't forget, the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit Drive-Thru RPG, by all means, please swing by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. All those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep thegaminggang.com around. Should also mention, made some tweaks to thegaminggang.com over the weekend. So it is now rating at 100% over at GT Metrics, which is phenomenal as far as website performance. So that was very cool. Doug Roberts says, I have AT&T, always theft time. Yeah, I don't think there's any ISP out there that's, all that great. Now, I got to point out, my brother just started, well, he's had T-Mobile for his phones with his family for years. He got the 5G home internet. He loves it. He says it's fantastic, but it's wireless 5G. It's sort of hit or miss depending on where you're at. So I don't know. Don't know. So we've got good old Comcast here. So, all right, real quick, let's see what's going on. Yeah, there we go. It's show that we're dropping a bunch of frames again. Okay, so not much I can do. This is probably not going to look as good as usual in the finished product. So I do want to also mention that if you like this video, if you dig the channel, if you feel thegaminggang.com is a valuable resource, if you like what we do, you can buy me a cup of coffee or some soda by swinging on over to paypal.me, that is ME, /thegaminggang to make a small donation. And thankfully, there are folks out there who use the Drive-Thru RPG links who pop on over to paypal.me as well. And a big tip of the cap. Thank you very kindly. It is much, much appreciated. In fact, the Madman and Joshua Edwards were the last two folks to make some very nice donations. Much appreciated. Thank you. All right, one last thing I do want to mention too. I've been talking about doing some auctions actually on the show. It'll start Monday, and I'm going to try to do 2 items a night. And I'm not going to make a big fuss about them. I'm just going to show what they are, talk about what they are, and then let it go from there. And I think what we'll do is you can make your bid in the comments section. So I plan on trying to get these every week, have those items shipped out to the auction winners on Saturday. So the Saturday of that week. So we'll see. Once again, trying to get some funds together for a new camera because, once again, I started tonight late the first time around because it was some issues with the Sony camera that I use overhead. Yeah. All right. So we're going to be taking a look at Zapotec, or Zapotec, as I like to say, in just a moment. But first, I think it's time for a brief intermission.
You've seen the show. It was quite a treat. But now you'd like something to eat, so right this way to the concession stand serving Castleberry's, the best in the land. Yes, sir. Castleberry's is real Southern barbecue. Choice cuts of meat slowly cooked over open pits of smoldering oak coals for honest-to-goodness barbecue flavor. You'll also find hot coffee, cold soft drinks, and delicious ice cream in our snack bar to go with your Castleberry sandwich. Just look at that generous helping of rich, juicy barbecue. Yum, yum. For a real taste thrill, Castleberry's barbecue will fill the...
This volunteer doesn't drink Wilkins instant coffee.
I hope you know what you're doing.
Oh, I do.
Like you crave that corn when it's freshly bobbed. You gotta beat it to the box with the butter on the top. Get with it, man. Start strolling down to the sweets that you're rolling, the best in town. Our candy's real gone, if I'm understood. To all you squares, that means the confection is positively delicious. Cork that stuff. Give me 5. Let me send you into this nutty jive. Go! It ain't very far. Shake it on down to this cool snack bar. Come on, Jill. Give us a treat. A friendly pepper-upper with a tasty beat.
Drink Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper, 'cause it never lets you down.
Frosty, man. Frosty.
And now, on with the show.
Skip, 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 dip, 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 Dr. Pepper. And of course, had to share another Wilkins coffee bit with Wilkins and Won'tkins. Those are the characters' names. Little crabby Muppet. Nah, I don't want any Wilkins coffee. That's Won'tkins. There you have it. All right. Moving right along. Tonight, I'm taking a look at Zapotec from Board and Dice. It's designed by Fabio Lapiano with artwork provided by Zbigniew Umgilter and Alexander Zawada. I guarantee I messed those names up. Game is for 1 to 4 players, ages 12 and up. Plays in around 60 to 75 minutes. Does carry an MSRP of $50. So let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got Zapotec. So very cool artwork on the cover here. Once again, this is another Mesoamerican themed game from Board and Dice. For some reason they just love that theme. So let's take a peek at the back. First off, do want to point out, fine folks over at Board and Dice were kind enough to provide me with this review copy, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the gaming gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. And of course, these days, it's important that you know that. The Zapotec were a pre-Columbian civilization that flourished in the valley of Oaxaca in Mesoamerica. Archaeological evidence shows their culture going back at least 2,500 years. Remnants of the ancient city of Monte Alban in the form of buildings, ball courts, magnificent tombs, and finely worked gold jewelry testify of this once great civilization. Montalban was one of the first, or Monte, depends, was one of the first major cities in Mesoamerica and the center of a Zapotec state that dominated much of the territory that today belongs to the Mexican state of Oaxaca. There you go. All right. So, Tessie Trek, there's a discussion of barbecue going on right now because of the Castleberry barbecue commercial in our intermission tonight. All right, let's see what we have got. So we got our rule book. And as I had mentioned previously, usually the board and dice releases are medium to heavyweight Euro games. And I got to say, this one looks like it might be more middleweight. So here we've got our component list. We've got our main board. We've got 4-player boards, building tiles, palace tiles, trade tiles, scoring tiles, wood, brick, stone, and corn tokens. Oh, look at that. We got even more stuff over here. Gold tokens, priest tokens, got action cards, ritual cards. Not even going to try to pronounce that word. It's for the solitaire mode. And then we have houses, discs, small pyramids, medium pyramids, and large pyramids. So, discussion of how to set up. Placing building tiles on the main board. Prepare a little weightier than that. So we got the scoring tiles and preparing the action deck and ritual deck and the player pieces. In Zapotec, there are 3 basic resources, wood, stone, and brick, and 3 advanced resources, corn, gold, and priests. Players spend basic resources to expand their presence on the board with their buildings and at the same time develop their economy. Advanced resources are used to gain trade tiles, advance on the sacrifice track. Ah, yes. It's Mesoamerican. We got to have some sacrifices going on. And also claim ritual cards. All right. So phase 1 is selecting a card. So all players simultaneously pick one card from their hand and place it face down in front of them. The resource printed on the top of the card determines the row or column to activate on the resource grid to collect income. The icon in the middle of the card matches one of the 9 properties of the building spaces on the map. You can only build on spaces that match that. And number on the bottom of the card will dictate the turn order for the round when the card is played. So it kind of is determining your play order in that round. That's kind of cool. Income and actions. So we've got a trade action, pyramid action, ritual action, sacrifice action, construction step. So talking about building your palace. And a scoring step during the turn. And then there's an end of round cleanup. After 5 rounds, additional victory points are scored based on the sacrifice track, rituals, and pyramids. Winner is the player with the most victory points at the end of the game. That's usually the case. If there's a tie, the players whose disc is ahead on the sacrifice track wins. In the unlikely event that there's still a tie, tied players share victory. And there is a solitaire mode as well. That is something else that I've noticed with a lot of the more recent board and dice titles that have come out. They're trying to include some solitaire play in almost all of them. Then we get an appendix. Gotta point out, paper quality, really, really nice for the rule book. So this will hold up to some wear and tear at the game table, getting passed around when people have some questions. So there we go. The rule book, what was it, 22 pages? Well, 23 with the credits. All right. So there we have the rule book. See what else we've got. I think these are the player boards. And I believe these are paper. All right. Do we have a sticker on here keeping this closed? Yeah. Yep, they are player boards. There's 4 of them. Get the cover artwork on the back of it. So as you can see, there's a bit of a sheen to it. So this is cardstock that's been treated. Cardstock's a little thin, but once again, it's got some treatment on it, so it should hold up. So all of these are identical. And we got some punch boards. Looks like we've got a couple, maybe, with our different tokens. Oh, we got 3. So we've got gold. There's our gold. I think these are the building or trade. Maybe they're the building tiles here. Dual-sided. These are the trade, I think. I think these are the trade tiles. So these will be changing. And then we've got brick, wood, stone, corn, and priests. These are the palaces as well. As I can feel a sneeze coming on. It's just hovering there, just hovering. It's like, all right. Am I gonna sneeze? Am I okay, maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, it's just hovering around. Okay, so here is the board. Here's the game board. Nice thick stock on this, so it's a nice mounted board. So as we can see, we've got a victory point track running around it. Got the different areas. I think this is where the trade tiles go. And these are the areas where you can build. So we've got a few different areas around here. Wondering which one is the sacrifice track? Is it this? Is this the sacrifice track here? Could be. Looks like that'd be the only one. So I would think that has to be this has to be the sacrifice track. All right, so there is. Give you a little closer look at these building areas. Nice art style on this. Very cool. All right, then we've got some little Euro size cards in English. So we've got the different pyramids. I think these are the small pyramids. I'll show you what this looks like here. Now, there was some discussion yesterday about players being colorblind and companies not taking that into account. Well, I can tell you right here, these colors would work for anyone who has issues with color recognition. So these are the medium pyramids. Then we've got large pyramids, and these are actually pretty damn large. Like so. There's a little bit of detail on these as well. So it's cool. So these are the houses. So these are just wooden. And then we've got discs. And then we have player aid cards. So no doubt there are 4 of those inside there. Let's take a peek at the cards. I think it was a couple of different decks. One was ritual deck, and the other was it an action deck? Something like that. Actually, there are 3. English. Hey, by the way, make sure that this goes into the English copy. All right. So I can't tell you what each of these symbols on the back represent. I'm guessing maybe these are the action cards. Yeah, these have to be the action cards. Because remember, we get a resource that we get a column or a row that we get our income from. And then this is the area we can build in. And then that's the spot in the turn. So whoever's got the lowest number, I'm guessing, goes first. Just going to show you some of these. So there are 27 of these cards. And then these kind of have the same thing. One of these decks is for the solo play. I don't know if it's this one or if it's the other one. I'm taking a guess this is probably for the game. Just a stab. Yeah, actually, you could just look at the rule book, right? Rather than be like, hey, I'm going to guess. I think it's on the other page there. Okay, so these are the action cards. These are the cards that are used for solitaire play. And then these are the ritual cards. There are 10 of these. Kind of give you an idea of what these look like. So this says 6 victory points for sets of 3 buildings with the same religion. Oh, I'm sorry. Same region. I say it's all the same religion. And different terrain. So to kind of give you an idea what these ritual cards look like. So it appears that these are kind of secret victory point objectives that you can grab. So Coco B says, LOL, just a stab. Yeah, just a stab in the dark. All right, so we've got our 3 little decks of cards. We have the pyramids and the tokens. We've got the discs, the houses. We've got the pretty cool game board. 3 punch boards with more tokens there. 4 player boards and the rule book. And that's what we find when we take everything from Zapotec outside the box. Once again, this is available right now from Board and Dice. It is for 1 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, plays in about 60 to 75 minutes. It does carry an MSRP of $50. Looks like a good amount in this box for that $50 price tag as well. So I will hopefully have a review of Zapotec in the not too distant future. All right, so let's swing on over to the other camera here. Ka-ching. Cleaning this up a little bit. Let me grab a quick sip here. All right, so if you are wondering what is cooking on next week's episodes, on Monday, we are going to take a first look at Pathfinder Knights of Last Wall. Yes, I remember the title of it tonight, which is from Paizo Inc. It is a new player-facing supplement, which gives you new options to play as knights of, you guessed it, Last Wall. So, see what we got here. Contains information on joining the Knights, details on important members of the organization, new options for knightly characters, and details for playing a Valiant knightly campaign. So there is some Game Master facing materials in here as well. So we're going to take a look at this on Monday's show. On Tuesday's show, we're going to take a look at Drift Crisis for Starfinder. And this is a new player-facing book mainly. It's got 100 new player options, 20 detailed adventure seeds. So that's Game Master facing there. Deep dives on the myriad effects of the Drift Crisis. It says hyperspace is broken. I guess that's the Drift Crisis. And a toolbox with a vast store of information for running adventures in the Drift Crisis. So that'll be on Tuesday's show. Then on Wednesday, we're going to do a War Game Wednesday with the first look at Barbarossa Army Group Center 1941 from GMT Games. Off the top of my head, I seem to recall reviewing this way back in the day when I didn't shoot video reviews. So we're going to take a peek because I have never shot video of this game previously. So, and of course, the fine folks over at GMT were kind enough to send that along. So that's what's cooking on next week's shows. So that is it for this time out tonight. If you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. Because not only will it let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Central right here on YouTube. I'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my review of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, The Horned Rat, the 4th chapter in the Enemy Within Director's Cut from Cubicle 7 Entertainment. Stay tuned for the review video of that. Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you were hanging out live, I certainly appreciate that. If you took part in chat, I appreciate that even more. But I'll tell you what, I know a lot of people out there don't have an opportunity to watch live. So I just appreciate the fact that you watch any of these videos. It really is important to me. It doesn't matter if it's live or it's Memorex. You're taking time out of your busy lives to take a peek at thegaminggang.com. So thank you very, very much. I'll be back on Monday. So everybody enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great weekend. And of course, here's hoping each and every one of you has an opportunity to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang. Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. Check out the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch, or find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks for watching.